Alright. Settle down, everybody. Take your seats. Enough messing around. The day is young, and I sense many great minds ready for learning. Class, your ability to excel in this life is directly correlated to your ability to learn. You must take what your juvenile, permeable minds can absorb and manifest those concepts and ideas in the real world.
You can manifest a concept by not going over his face in a minute.
You are all mounds of clay ready for shaping.
What now?
Hey, yep.
Alas, there are many great spells available to talented witches and wizards. Many a great tool at the disposal of those with an aptitude for learning. But how do we know which tool is best? How do we sort the proverbial wheat from the proverbial chaff?
With a sickle?
And, most importantly, how do you convey this to an audience in a way that is both visually appealing and engaging?
You're talking about us, right?
Bruh.
Don't let the intrusive thoughts win, Cannoli. It's okay. Remember your breathing. I can sense your skepticism, but I kindly ask that you allow me the opportunity to expand your minds, for which nothing ventured, nothing was gained. That's how it goes, isn't it? Now, behold, the revolutionary instrument known as the tier list. This never-before-seen presentation method will allow us to categorize today's topic into an easily understood and digestible manner according to the strength and performance of each spell, relative to its alternatives.
This is unbelievable. I'm going to say something. Excuse me, sir.
What?
That's great and all, but this seems like something that maybe should have been done sooner, like a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that shit's been hella overdone.
I swear I've seen other people do it before too.
Oh, who cares anyway?
Shut the fuck up. This is what we're doing, so just roll with it, okay?
What am I even doing here?
Right. Well, hello there. In case you haven't been able to figure out what's going on, I'm doing a tier list on all the spells in Hogwarts Legacy. So, some of you may be wondering, who am I and what are my credentials? Well, who gives a shit? But before we go any further, much better. There are 16 spells available to players in Hogwarts Legacy, and like men, not all are created equally. Some are about as effective as recommending a hygiene routine to your average Smash player, while others are capable of great influence, like a TikToker encouraging poorly supervised kids to ingest dangerous chemicals. Confused? Don't worry, it'll all make sense soon. Hopefully. And before you say,
Ooh, well, I can use all of them equally since I switch between spell wheels like a bowler.
shut up. Not everyone is shelving Ritalin in their spare time, okay? It's just a bit of fun. Who knows? If you pay attention, you might even learn something. I'll be ranking the spells in the following tiers.
S-H-I-T. I mean, it's alright. That's pretty good.
R and
I'm the best.
why no D tier? Well, why don't you ask your mother what I did with it? Bitch. Also, tell her to stop calling me, man. I'm busy. So, with that out of the way, let's begin with C tier. And just to make one thing clear, I won't be tolerating any disruptions. Got it? This is where the fun begins. These are the spells that I consider to be the worst in the entire game. They're boring to use and are outclassed by everything else on the list. Don't get me wrong, none of them are completely useless. They just suck. First spell in C tier is Levioso.
But sir, with enough hard work and dedication, any spell can be the best.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Your sentiment is misplaced, however, as...
By the way, sir, it's Levioso, not Levioso.
Oh shit! I got the wrong one. Watch it, you're on thin ice. Levioso, which as I've just demonstrated, will levitate the target of the spell, and that's it. Easily worst spell in the game. In truth, it's only slightly more valuable than last month's NFT project. Seriously though, it doesn't work on larger targets, and if you want to get damage out of it, you can only really follow up with Descendo. Otherwise, you're just wasting time using it as a setup for other spells. Even if you manage to get multiple enemies with one cast, you're better off using Accio to pull them in close than following up with a damage spell that can hit all of them at once. The only thing this spell has going for it is that you can use it to help get rid of Dugbugs quickly by hanging them by their tongue and running them through with Defendo. And yes, I know it can disrupt an Ashwinder soldier's Expulso curse. But, come on, be serious. Does anyone actually take advantage of these mechanics? It barely lifts itself into C tier. I was honestly going to have a D tier just for this spell. Up next is Flipendo, which, as the name implies, will, you guessed it, flip targets. I know. Thank you all. I'll be here all week. It only edges out Levioso here because you can use it to inflict the curse status on enemies once you upgrade it, which can be very useful, as we'll see later on.
Yeah, boy.
Sure, you can use it to flip a Dugbog, but flipping a Troll's Club back into its face is where it's at. Very nice. It also does this weird thing where it introduces gravity to spiders and makes them explode, but I don't know what's up with that, man. It's just weird. Flipendo's effect doesn't last very long, much like Me in Bed. But unlike Me in Bed, you can use Descendo as a follow-up to slam enemies into the ground while they're in the air. Kind of like how I bring down my girlfriend. Oh, that's why she took out the restraining order. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, unfortunately, there isn't much more you can do with this spell. Maybe you can use it as a way to extend combos in the early or mid game, but I'm reaching here. So yeah, it's pretty shit. Not complete shit, but shit nonetheless. I kept flipping my opinion deciding where I was going to put this spell, but in the end, I placed it firmly in C tier. Moving on. This next one might rustle a few jimmies, but it's Bombarda. Shut up, I'm warning you. Okay, sure, the spell looks cool, it doesn't. But so do most AAA games, and half the time they fucking suck. It has the third highest base damage out of all the spells in the game. But it's kind of like that one friend in the group that just, you know, exists. He's not funny or unique in any way. He's just there and you always feel obligated to ask him to come out. Maybe it's you. It's probably you, to be honest. Alright. Look at the following examples and you'll see where I'm coming from. You can use it with Glacius to take advantage of the high damage, but then why not just use Defendo? Okay, maybe your enemies are grouped together. Well, surely when the neuron activation kicks in, you know that you could have just used Incendio.
I'm fed up with this world.
See where I'm going with this? It doesn't even do anything exciting when you level it up. The boom just gets boomier. The game doesn't even know what to do with this spell, as it claims it can blow up a loyalist sentinel or in theory, but yeah. So, what a joke. This thing bombed harder than whatever Oppenheimer is famous for. C tier. And the last item to fill out C tier is Accio. By far the most useful out of all the spells in this tier. You'll use it most often to maximize Incendio's damage and nothing else. I'm sensing a theme here. Okay. You'll use it in practically every puzzle in the game, as well as destroy all those bozos in Summoner's Court.
Bit of good luck, that's all.
I'm not lucky, I'm simply better than you.
All right, fine. You're right. You're better than me.
Leander, there's no easy way to say this. Well, actually there is. You're not cut out for it.
Well, you could have found a harder way to say it.
If you want to be really clever with this spell though, I like to pull enemies toward ledges of high areas, and then into the big damage spells that the chunky boys like to use. You can even use it after a Dugbog charges you to turn it over, but unlike all the other 4 spells, it'll actually pull them towards you a little bit, which is kinda neat. I can understand a lot of people like this spell though, as it most likely stems from the subconscious insecurity of the inability to pull any bitches and stack no paper. Anyway, it's... wait, what the fuck? Is that what I think it is? Is that a scroll of cool math games? You little shit. I think that just about covers that. I hope you've learned your lesson. Now, to recap, due to its reliable yet limited use, Accio pulls into the C tier. This is where things begin to pick up a little bit. We can actually have a little bit of fun and not feel as though the spells we're using are completely useless. First up is Confringo.
But sir, why is Confringo ranked above Bombarda if it does less damage?
Oi! Listen here, Bombtard. I've had enough of you. Honestly, do you pride yourself on being such an insufferable know-it-all? Anyway, aside from the soothing sound of our enemies burning alive filling the air, this has other benefits, such as being effective against both spiders and early morning university students. Trust me, bro. Just eat the frog. Rise and grind, baby. But it does less damage than Bombarda, I hear some of you say. Well, you are correct, but not in the way you would think. Once you take the damage over time effect of Confringo into consideration, the difference between the two is just 1 point of damage. What's my source? Well,
My source is I made it the fuck up.
although Bombarda can hit a cluster of enemies, Confringo can do the same once it's upgraded, but they don't need to be so close together. Furthermore, a burning enemy will take more damage if they are knocked into a wall or another object by other spells. So yeah, real blast to use, I guess. B tier. Next is Arresto Momentum. This spell has similar effects to Levioso, as in it'll make an enemy airborne, only it holds him in place for a little bit longer, and even works on dummy thick enemies like trolls, if only for a little bit. It also has similar combo potential, but when it's upgraded, it will inflict the curse status on the target. It's really good against those goblin crackheads that keep zipping around everywhere.
Oh no.
As it will slow them down and make them an easy kill. Outside of combat, you can use it on the Daedalian keys to slow them down and smack them into the keyhole. Oh, yeah, right. Sorry, that was back when they actually wanted us to have fun when we played the fucking game. To finish off, if the final enemy during combat is under the effect of this spell, you can just walk up to them and cast Petrificus Totalis. I hope the utility this spell provides is enough to arrest your attention. B tier. Descendo is next, and this is what it does.
He needs some milk.
Descendo will cause whatever you're targeting to fall down and...
So are we just going to ignore this? I think she might need some medical attention.
No, it should be fine.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, as your colleague has kindly demonstrated, it's best used while they're in the air, as it'll do more damage. It's also worth noting that the height of the target does not change the damage they receive, unless they were likely to die from the fall anyway.
Gives me conniptions.
You can also use it on someone even if they're on the ground to pop them into the air, but it will do less damage. Plenty of spells make targets airborne, so there are many opportunities to use it. The upgrade for this spell is pretty good too, since it creates a shockwave around the target slammed into the ground, capable of damaging nearby enemies. It's also really good against the larger spiders, as using it when they get ready to attack will cause them to bury their heads into the sand. Similar to the Reserve Bank, sounding concerns that it's devaluing the currency. Damn boy, look at that thing go! That thing's almost lower than my will to live. Woo! Regardless, it's bugged out and doesn't seem to work unless you land it during the first attack of a spider's attack string. Believe me, I tried. I really could not get this to work, man. This game's such a fucking buggy mess. And yes, it can flick a dug roll, perhaps a little lower than some of you may have expected. Descendo settles into the B tier for me. To round out B tier, we have Expelliarmus.
But sir,
Oh, let me finish. I'm talking here. Yes, I know this spell has the lowest damage in the entire game. Considering its stated effect of, actually disarming someone has some form of tangible effect, it's actually worthwhile to use. Everyone knows you can deflect the spells that the chunky boys like to use. If you try this on any other wizard, it'll force them to actually go search for their little wand they like to play with so much, before continuing the fight. On goblins, it works a little different, since they all have weapons that they can just pull out of their ass. With the right talents, you can hit it with the Uno reverse card and throw it right back at them.
Amazing. What are you doing? Down.
Speaking of talents, I don't have any. But when you upgrade this spell, it'll also inflict the curse status on enemies. Not bad. Honestly, it's my personal favorite, simply due to its utility. We really need to expel the discourse that this spell is trash. B tier for Expelliarmus.
Sir, how could you conceive placing it this high on the tier list? It simply doesn't make sense. Why should the utility a spell provides be more important than its damage dealing capacity?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
I think that's enough interruptions for today. Otherwise, I'm really gonna lose it. So, let's press on. This is where the big boys and girls come out to play. Spells from here on out are heavy hitters and stand out compared to the rest. They're not the best, but they're pretty damn close. Depulso makes up the first entry into A tier, and let's just dispel this immediately. Yes, it does no damage, but if you can't find a use for this spell despite that, well, that's what us epic gamers tend to call a skill issue. Depulso can knock enemies into walls, off ledges, into environmental hazards, and even into other enemies. Bonus points if they're on fire. Its upgrade is trash, but it doesn't matter because honestly, it's just that good. The only gripe I have with this spell is that it spawned those fucking puzzle rooms. You can also use it to disrupt the unblockable attack from an Ashwinder Assassin or Poacher Animagus. But it's very situational. And I doubt most of us are quick enough to do it on the fly. Oh, yeah, you can also flip a Dugbog after they charge you. Look, last time I mentioned this, I swear. Depulso is one of my favorite spells, even if it is attached to those puzzle rooms. Harder to use, but satisfying to master. I banish this to A tier. Defindo cuts in next, and what do I need to say about this one? Second highest damage in the game, absolutely bussin' casting animation, and goes through people like a mukbang YouTuber goes through 10,000 calories in one sitting.
I eat cows. I eat cows. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, you turned into a cow.
That's rude.
Good stuff all around. It also makes an excellent pair with glaciers, just like wine and old white women.
Oh no, kids. Nana doesn't really drink her savvy brie anymore. She's a lean sipping granny up on Jolly Ranch Mountain.
You can also use it to disrupt the duelist enemy's attack while they charge up their spell, if you're fast enough. Lastly, it forms the second part of the combo to delete Dugbugs, which is just fantastic. Wow, chef's kiss. I had to trim this section down, otherwise I could spend all day talking about this spell.
Gabagool, over here.
No. Medication must be wearing off. A tier. Ooh. Now I know this next one is a crowd favorite. Coming in hot is Incendio. This is the strongest damage spell in the entire game, and in my not so humble opinion, the best. And honestly, I don't think I need to provide much reason why. You get it very early on, so thankfully you can enjoy it for pretty much the entire game. Although its short range initially seems like a disadvantage.
Ooh, that's kind of small. Yikes.
This is easily overcome by using Accio or acquiring the Swift talent, which unlocks the extended dodge roll, allowing you to mitigate its short range.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Its upgrade is also very good, as it allows you to hit all enemies in your immediate vicinity when casting the spell. But remember, fire, much like ketamine addiction, is a fickle mistress.
Yeah, you should see someone about that.
Believe me, I have tried. Anyway, good spells like this are few and far between, so we have to appreciate what we can get. A tier. Okay, now let's cool things down for the final entry into A tier. Glacius. This spell will freeze the target for a short period. During this time, they're just like your stepsister stuck in the washing machine. Extremely vulnerable and open to exploitation. By that, I mean while in this frozen state, the next attack will do increased damage.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Remember, big number is good, and what's even better is that this will stack with other damage multipliers. Just be careful though, since the next spell that you cast on a frozen enemy will remove the spell's effect. Unfortunately, this includes spells that don't do any damage. When we upgrade this spell, striking a frozen target will cause shattered ice to damage nearby enemies. Much like the fallout of our poor decisions hurting those closest to us. Look, Mum, please let me come back home. Okay, I've already apologized profusely for shitting myself and not cleaning it up. Okay, the guys on Reddit said it was a good idea to store it in the attic. Oh, and it can blow up one of those yellow guys when they get ready to use their fire spell, but who gives a fuck about that? Very ice. A tier.
Are we going to address you shitting yourself?
Address what?
You're a cook, mate.
I mean, he never gets in trouble for doing anything.
Do you need a reminder to behave in my class, Slytherin? And with that, we now finally progress to S tier. These spells are the cream of the crop, the best of the best of the best. They're unparalleled and are a true force to be reckoned with. You see, wait, where is everyone?
Oh, they're gone, sir. They've either gone to see Nurse Blaney or signed up for therapy sessions at St. Mungo's. Yeah, not the only person who should be at St. Mungo's if you ask me.
Oh, well, okay. Whatever. You can't make an omelette without abusing a few eggs. What the fuck? Beginning S tier, we have transformation. When cast on an enemy, or anything for that matter, it will cause them to have an identity crisis. A crisis of such a magnitude that the dissonance will cause them to transform into a completely different being. In other words, a barrel. Just straight up, piece of wood shaped into a cylinder.
Filthy plumbers. Peach's pussy's mine.
This on its own is okay, but its true potential is unlocked when it is upgraded. Doing so will allow you to turn enemies into explosive barrels that will blow up not just the unfortunate soul you throw it at, but also the target you transform. Now that's efficiency. Middle management's gotta be happy with that. Aside from that, its effect also lasts a long time. Kind of like my girlfriend's electric toothbrush. Most peculiar indeed. This can be used to selectively remove enemies from play, or eliminate the most annoying ones outright. My favourite use for this spell though is to help those who struggle to fit in by changing the furries back into regular people and away from degeneracy. You know, I wonder if this is something that Joanne had approved, considering she likes to beef with people different to herself. Anyway, I hope my explanation has been enough to transform your opinion. S tier. I'm surprised that my most loyal student is a Slytherin.
Oh, I haven't been taking notes, sir. I've just been watching Tom Holland catch some back shots on Twitter.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I farted and a poopy almost slipped out.
Really? Well, there's nothing to be concerned about, my boy. To reward your lack of zeal, why don't you get ready for a little extra learning? Something to really grasp your attention, since it's clear my instruction so far has been lacking.
Seriously? More work?
You may be interested in what I have to share this time. After all, some consider it to be a pathway to unlimited power. Spells that some of our more morally righteous colleagues wouldn't necessarily condone.
Sir, you couldn't mean...
Oh yes, the darker arts. Are you interested?
Oh, fuck yeah. Sign me up.
Perfect. Why don't you come to the front of the class? We wouldn't want just anybody to see this. But first, perhaps a demonstration.
Sorry, sir. I just came back from taking a fat shit, man.
What are all these flashing lights? What's going on? Sir, this is completely unacceptable. I've spoken to the headmaster and...
A few moments later.
Suck.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Psst, hey, over here. What's good, blood? You remember me? I did some bad things. Real bad things. You feel? That's why I'm locked up in here. It's because I'm a bad boy. A bad boy's got to be locked up, you know? Yeah, so it turns out that the number of fatalities during the school year exceeded what was deemed acceptable by the faculty, and that they may or may not have solely been isolated to my classroom. But that's besides the point. Anyway, since I'm here serving a life sentence, I may as well use my spare time to talk about the remaining spells before one of the guards comes past to suck me off. Yeah, nah, look, it's not a lot of fun here. I don't even know how long I've been here, man. Some of us have started to go a little loco.
Step aside, ladies.
Oh, fuck.
Let me show you how real G moves.
Bloody hell, there he
This
goes
is what
again.
sparkling water does to a man.
Alright, look, let's just move away from these guys. They're starting to scare me a little bit. You see, perceptive viewers may have already noticed that I have neglected to discuss 3 spells. 3 very particular spells. Unforgivable ones, if you will. Yeah, it's the unforgivable curses. Look, I knew they were going to be an S tier. You knew they were going to be an S tier. So let's not beat around the bush. They're just as overpowered as we were expecting them to be and are just so fun to use. Oh, that makes me sound unhinged. Oh, I'm starting to think I'm here for a reason. First up is Avada Kedavra. This spell, much like giving me your credit card details, is very straightforward. Anyway, just simply point at an enemy and watch as they are deleted instantly. Easy as that.
But wait!
When you upgrade this spell, it gets even better. The fucking killing spell gets better, what the fuck? With the Mastery talent, you will be able to eliminate entire groups of enemies instantaneously. How do you do this? Well, as I've mentioned throughout the video, many spells are capable of inflicting curse status on enemies. When striking an enemy with an upgraded Avada Kedavra, all cursed enemies will be removed, making it an effective strategy for getting those sweet squad wipes.
We chased me around the house. We even tried bringing it drinks. I don't know the last time you took it off and showered was.
Although it comes with a lengthy cooldown, don't let this discourage you. It's well worth the wait, as no enemies are immune to its effects. This spell absolutely kills it. Easy S tier, and an essential component to your Dark Lord speedrun.
I am a dark wizard. I am a dark wizard. I am a dark wizard.
Next is Imperio. This spell bends the will of the target to your own. Initially, this sounds pretty hardcore, but compared to burning people alive or forced body dysmorphia, it's pretty tame in comparison. Naturally, the best targets for this spell will be trolls and archomantulas, who make excellent distractions and entertainment as these beefcakes smack everybody around like it's nobody's business. Once the spell is upgraded, enemies damaged by those under the effect of Imperio will also be afflicted with the curse status, adding further synergy to the Dark Arts playstyle. You know, in a way, it makes me reflect on how wanton violence only truly hurts ourselves and the ones we care about.
Think fast, Chuckle Nuts!
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Nah, screw that fucking noise. I'm just bummed out there's no fart cloud like there was in the movie. I wonder if it smells like beans. Little bonus tip as well. If the last enemy you're up against is under the effect of Imperio, you can walk straight up to them and spam Petrificus Totalis instead of waiting for the spell to end, just like Arrest of Momentum. This spell absolutely dominates the battlefield. It's a no-brainer that it's in S tier. And now, last, but certainly not least, is Crucio. This spell is the reason why Dark Arts playstyle is a cakewalk. It's honestly just that good. Initially, this spell will incapacitate an enemy, afflict them with a curse status, and cause them to take increased damage. It also has a small damage over time effect, but that's a drop in the bucket compared to what else this spell can do. The best part is, it gets even better when you upgrade it. Striking the target, or should I say victim, of the spell with your basic cast will very effectively spread the curse status to nearby enemies. Reminds me of a certain virus of disputed origin. You guys remember when that was a thing? I don't think I need to explain what you can do from here. Even if you don't have an upgraded Avada Kedavra, you can bully enemies with large HP pools, and hurt all affected enemies at once by using the game's curse mechanic. Oh, and in case you were wondering what the spell actually does, well, it tortures the target. Straight up inflicts agonizing amounts of pain, supposedly so bad it was described in the source material as if your bones were being set alight. I suppose I feel a similar pain when I try to make a post on Twitter or put up a poll in the community tab and get no replies. God, people give out the worst advice when you want to start a YouTube channel. But, as the illustrious minds of Reddit point out, it is truly a shame that we cannot use this spell in the open world on unsuspecting people because I couldn't imagine a better use of my time than to go around and pass a torture because it's supposed to be really fucking bad and really fucking hurt on people because why not? Why not?
So this is where they put him.
They had no choice. If it wasn't for all the other stunts he's pulled, maybe they could have put him in St. Mungo's. That would have been a mercy compared to this.
What is he doing?
Talking to himself. He pretends as if he's still giving out lessons and people are listening. I wonder why.
It's all he knows, I guess. Well, by the looks of it, we don't have to worry about this one.
Agreed.
And it's over. Finally. Hey guys, Soft Cannoli here. Thank you to everybody who made it to the end of the video. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys had a good time, or at the very least, got a laugh out of it. This is my first long form video here on YouTube, and I've got big things planned for the future, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that. I know there's a long way to go, but I will continue to hone my craft and aim to produce even more enjoyable content in the future. So I would appreciate it if you could let me know your thoughts down below. Your feedback really helps, and I look forward to reading what you guys have to say, good or bad, as all of it will just help me improve. For those of you who don't know, I have a short series going through all of these spells, which I plan to finish sometime after this video is released. So check out the link in the description, or check out the channel page if that's more your style. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank all of the friends and family who have helped me along the way to finish this video. Your help has been invaluable, and although I may not show it at times, I really do appreciate all of you guys and all the things you do for me. It truly does mean a lot. In particular, I would like to thank Pomodoro and Tiger of the Sheen Valley for their involvement in this video. Now, the obligatory e-begging. I'll keep this section brief. If you'd like to support the channel directly, consider signing up for my Patreon, or using any of the features here on YouTube. I'll save my crappy sales pitch for those of you who actually want to check out my Patreon page, so let's just leave it at that. Lastly, if you like the video and what I have to offer, you know what to do. So yeah, that's all folks. Thanks again for watching, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Ciao. Has everyone else gone? Good. For those of you who decided to stick around this long, here's a little something for your trouble. Oh, you don't know me, son.
You've got mail.
Son.
Well, shit. What do you know?